Was it your first official gig as Tap DONS opening for Complete or not quite?
Yeah, that actually was, under the name Tap DONS as a first support slot. For Complete, which was sick. It was our second time actually opening for him, but it's our first time branded under Tap DONS. And it was sick. We won the little competition, the verse entry challenge, and the concept behind that was fun. It suited our style of writing very well, because we like to write like that anyway, comedic and conceptual stuff. And it was good fun. We had a laugh entering the competition and was mad doing the show with him.
Yeah, I think this one was definitely more rewarding than the last one as well. I mean, the chain of the last one, I think, like, obviously you got in, I think, was it through Greeley?
Yeah, Greeley.
And then I got in through you, so it was like a new someone thing, whereas this one really felt like we did earn the spot there, and really cemented our feet on that stage for the night, which was definitely put a big smile on your face, that's for sure.
Fuck yeah. What would you say to anyone that was like maybe salty that you guys got the position?
Do better. Honestly, like, you're going to sit around and get salty about people that beat you in a competition. You don't understand what a fucking competition is, really.
That's exactly the response I was looking for. That's good.
And at the same time, it's also like, fucking who knows what Complete likes, man. Like, we just got the concept that struck a chord with him. Like, fucking, you might have had some dope bars. It just might have not been what Complete had in his head for a concept. So who knows? Fucking, get better and, just fucking, who cares? Enter the next competition and win that one. You know? Don't stress over it.
I mean, it's hard, right? Like, if someone like Complete's running a competition like that, I don't know how many entries he got, but it would have been a lot. It would have been a lot.
It wasn't as many as I expected. For sure. Unless there was a lot that just didn't have the hashtags.
There was still quite a few. There was still quite a few entries, but fucking, it was I don't know how long I had to scroll forward to go through and watch all the entries, but there was quite a few.
But that's crazy, man. And so the video, was that the one where you rang on FaceTime on the iPad? I thought that was fucking dope, bro. I was having a look through your page today on Tap DONS, and I saw that. I didn't see it before, but I saw it and I was like, it's fucking awesome, bro. Just the concept around it. I think,
I think that's the main thing that got us over the line with that thing. Like, there was some other people that did have, I guess, better bars as far as like setup and punchlines and stuff. But I think just nailing a concept. Obviously, the whole Tap DONS EP is a concept EP. So we've got a skill set there that was able to translate well to that project.
It just worked well for the competition, our style in general. But it was fun entering the competition and making the entry about not entering the competition. I thought it was just a funny little inception sort of on the thing that I thought that Complete would like, and he gave us props for that at the gig, which was cool. So well, as Pete said, all of our writing tends to be concept based and pretty comedic based. So each track that we've got on the EP is exactly that. It's a completely different concept, and it's a whole bunch of laughs and jokes scattered throughout.
It really is. Like, pretty much all of them have some sort of humorous element to them. There's probably only one that's kind of serious, and even then, like, when you hear it, you're gonna be like, that's still fucking ridiculous. It's about fucking turning nature strips into gardens to feed the homeless, which we thought was a beautiful message, and then we wrote it and was like, that's still hilarious.
It's the most hippie shit we've made, that's for sure. But definitely fun, and every concept is completely different, so you won't know what the next song is going to bring.
That's cool, man. So how do you come up with the concepts? Because I like that. That's a really cool concept.
A lot of the time the beat, like, we'll play the beat and there's either one of us writes a bar and it's like, okay, Wicked, got a concept. Either one of us just says, this is the concept, and we write to that concept, or there's a certain vibe that stands out from the beat and we're like, okay, this feels like this. So there's one that we do that's like a rap bandicoot thing. Literally the whole thing just came because the beat sounded like a rap bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot beat.
True.
From there we're just like, okay, we'll fucking roll with that concept then.
Nice, man. So, like, obviously I'm sure you don't want to give too much away, but that's got me interested. Like, is there any other concepts that you're happy to talk about before it comes out?
Heaps. You should listen.
When it drops 19th of October, just make sure you listen to it. There's another Harry Potter themed one. We won't go too much into it, but there's different little themes and beat inspired, as he said, scattered throughout, which then obviously interprets through the lyrics and what we choose to write on the beat. So it's pretty cool.
And I will say, there are a bunch of Easter eggs on the artwork for the project.
Big up to Topsky.
100% Topsky's on the artwork. He's so hectic. He did the Apple style stuff as well. Anyway, I think we're going to run a little competition on, like, the first person that can pick every Easter egg from the cover arts, and then we'll hook you up with something sick from there.
Cool. That's sick, man. I like that a lot. Fucking right. So tell us about the show you got coming up, man. It's 15th. That's the
19th of October at the Penny Black in Brunswick. So we're going to have ourselves, of course. We've got Lockie Hamill, Hyena Mufasa, Max Bladel supporting. We got OG Kai DJing, and we've also got Drifter emceeing the night. So he's funny as fuck, and he's going to be holding it down in between sets. Who we got sponsoring, lad?
Yeah, a few sponsors. We've got TNS helping us with running the event. Breaking Bread are also sponsoring. We've got Urban World on the sponsor. Is that everybody?
Fried and tasty as well.
Yeah, fat. Definitely go and check out Urban World's store. We went out there for the first time after kind of he was helping us out. Checked it out. It's actually really dope. Is it in Pakenham?
Cranbourne West, I believe. It might be East, but yeah. Urban World in Cranbourne, one of the East or Wests. That's the one. And it's fucking sick. He's got a dope little shop there, and really dope setup. He's got an awesome collection.
And he's just about the scene as well.
He really
froths hip hop.
Yeah, jumped on to sponsor our gig. No questions asked. We didn't even really get in much communication. It was mainly through Breaking Bread and Good Tea. But massive love for those guys. And they've been supporting us. Yeah, since they really heard our music. So we appreciate that.
Sick, man. Yeah, that's awesome. It's cool that you guys I feel like you guys are doing it right with Tap Dons. You know what I mean? Like coming straight out of the gate. You disagree?
Oh no, I'm
you're just surprised.
I'm curious.
Yeah, well, I feel like you are, bro, because you come straight out and you're opening for Complete on your first official show. You're doing your show, you're doing it through TNS. You know that the show is going to be fucking professional. You know that there's going to be a crowd. You know that it's going to be a good experience. You know, and you're just setting that standard right from the start.
Yeah. 100%. We definitely are setting that standard. I think that's gonna go one of two ways. We're either gonna learn, you don't actually need to put that much effort in, or we're gonna be like, wicked, you got to put that much effort in.
Yeah. So it's we'll find out on the 19th, and we'll see how it all goes. But I think we've had our own time to do individual music over the last few years, and I think now we get to rebrand fresh and kind of enter the scene as a new duo. We've already got mistakes that we can learn from and lessons that we've already done on our solo journey. So when we come back together to combine, we can obviously share those ideas, but we can also just fucking not do the things we've already fucked up.
So what do you think is like some of the biggest things that you've learnt in your kind of solo careers that's helping you now?
First impressions matter. Don't just I guess to anyone that's thinking about starting rap, in that first phase where you're completely fucking terrible, don't post all the really cringe whack stuff. That's just no, you can't say that, bruv. Just leave that off there. Post your other wholesome stuff that's showing you progress and, all that sort of stuff, but just keep the stuff that makes people be like, who the fuck's this weird? Off your socials.
Can you give people some advice on how to identify that? Because I think I've seen a lot of people post that stuff with confidence that it's the best thing that the world has ever seen.
For sure. Ask your friends. And if you still get ripped in the comment, get new friends.
Yeah, post it on TikTok, bro. They'll give you a fucking true perspective.
Yeah, if you want to neck up, definitely post it on TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok is fucking brutal, man.
Yeah. Super.
Yeah. So what's been the hardest thing for you guys so far with Tap Dons?
With Tap Dons?
Yeah. Nothing really. Yeah, we're still we're just learning to crawl, let alone fucking, we've just started our thing. So there hasn't really been any massive issues or hurdles. Just getting everything together and wrapping the EP up. It's taken, a bit of time and procrastination between different steps and a bit of travelling back and forth from Tassie, Newcastle and things like that for myself, and just time's not linking up properly. So it's been in the works for quite a long time, and there's been gaps of where we're not really doing anything or getting much done because we're just busy with our personal lives. But now that it's all kind of finally coming together to the final touches, it's really exciting, but it's just a rush to get everything sorted and wrap it all up.
Yeah, sick, man. Yeah, fucking know.
Yeah, it's definitely, I'd say the only problem that we've ever had is which is a non-problem because until you're ready to release, it doesn't really matter too much. Has been the time crunch thing. We probably started our first track, I think it's maybe just over 2 years now.
Wow. We didn't release it 2 years ago yet, but it'd be close to 2 years.
Wow.
And then 2 years on, we're just about getting ready for my release. But to be fair, that's the quickest I've ever finished a project. I'm a pretty slow burner when it comes to finishing things.
It's my first actual project, that's not a single sort of thing. So
true. Yeah. How do you go about deciding something like that is ready as well? Because this is something I was wondering about recently. Is music obviously is so subjective, right? So there's no you can't tick the box and be complete, you know what I mean? So how do you actually go about, especially a project involving more than one person as well, how do you go about deciding, okay, it's ready?
I really find, correct me if you think I'm wrong, but we just don't overcomplicate fucking anything. We do the song and we're when we're in the studio, we're does it need ad-libs? Yeah, wicked, let's go on with not. And then by the end, we're just fuck it. My whole ethos towards it really is why try and make this perfect when I can just get it to a point where I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Release it and then learn from that and make the next one better.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, heaps better than like endlessly trying to just like get every nitty gritty little iron out of that. And also in doing that, it's going to lose character.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to lose a certain gem that was in that project by just fucking ironing out every single crease.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
That's interesting. That's a really interesting point. Like over analyzing it is almost taken away from the artistic aspect of it, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's like a relationship. You got to love the flaws in it as well, and it's kind of just like the flaws are what brings the characteristics and the personality to it. The flavor flaws. When I say flaws, I just mean on a technicality on a piece of paper, following rhyme structure, it might not be perfect, but that's your style. You know, that's your flavor. So that's really what makes us all different. So, you gotta fucking try not to erase all of that and write your raps out of the textbook. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've come across a few guys. I'm not interested like naming anyone, but I've come across a few guys that get like really analytical with it, like that are doing well in terms of like teaching people about rap techniques and stuff. And then when I've gone to listen to their music, it kind of is like it's good. Like it's like you listen to it and there's nothing that stands out like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
But there's something like there's nothing drawing me to like keep listening to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've felt the exact same thing, and not to diss Harry Mack if you ever see this this page, but his freestyling game is crazy, and the videos are really exciting. But his music is kind of boring. He's just rapping about his ability to rap, and it's just rappity rap shit. And because there's no substance, and it's not that in the moment. Whoa, he just thought of that right now. It's like not that impressive, and that's his whole thing. And he's probably like complaining about that in a lot of music, which he actually does, but. It's like, well, just go for the lane that fucking obviously works for you, which is the freestyling, and just work out how to make your career out of that. We've all got fucking a pocket that I think fits us, and it's just about finding it and just making it work for you.
Yeah, that actually brings up a good point. Like, how do you actually go about finding that pocket? I think that's a really hard thing to do for yourself. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you can like notice it in other people a little bit easier.
Might be harder to notice, but trial and error really is going to be the main thing. And when you know that you're happy with something that you've created, it's pretty hard to like deny it. It's pretty undeniable. You just it's a new feeling. I guess you're like, holy fuck, I've leveled up here. And you can't really kind of explain it. But
also with pockets, scatting out where the pockets are and then being strict on writing to those scat patterns is a great way to work out where your pocket's going to be. Because you're not worried about like the exact words. You're just like, okay, this is where I feel the rhythm's going to be. Now let's be strict on that. And the further you get away from that pocket, the less like punchy the pocket's going to be. You might get it to a point where there's more character in it. As a whole, becomes a more flavorful thing. But the further you go from those pockets, the less it just punches into people's heads, you know. And most people that listen to hip hop are actually just bopping along with the rhythms. They just want cool in the pocket. Fucking this sounds cool. I don't care what you're saying.
100%.
How do you guys kind of view that? Because that's something that I've noticed that I think there's a lot of people that obviously like other rappers, they're looking at your lyrics and like your technique a lot of the time, like kind of like judging you on that. But how do you find that's received by people that aren't rappers? Like kind of like you were saying, they just kind of bop along to the rhythm a lot of the time. Right?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I try to just cater to both in all of my writing. So I try to make sure I've got some technical shit and some bars, and then just some funny shit that's easy to bop your head to. I lean more technical usually. Like I prefer to kind of write technically, and like my bars to be intricate and kind of hard to understand and like take a second to think of. But like in a track that we just did the other day, I've got a bar that's just like, fuck the mainstream and fuck the system, fuck the gatekeepers, fuck their mission. And I know that is not technical at all. It's just an easy chant for people to yell back, whatever. But it's more the shock factor, and it's just a funny thing to sort of say in a song. So depending on what I'm trying to appeal to with the energy in the track is depending on what direction I'll take it. I don't know what you would say for that. But.
I'd probably agree with that.
Sick.
I feel like sometimes as well it's good to have stuff like that, right? Because if there's someone listening to your music that maybe isn't a rapper or maybe isn't even a big hip hop head, so they're not catching basically any of the bars, it's almost good to have something a little bit easier for them to understand, so they can kind of like connect with it in that way, and like they can like recognize that part.
100%.
Actually, I'd say when I'm writing, I don't put too much thought into the listener whatsoever, whether they're from a technical point or from a general is for the just general boppy sort of person.
Yeah.
I don't put too much thought into either of that because I don't really care.
Yeah,
because
I'm pretty selfish. Yeah,
100. The general audience, like, they don't know enough to be able to analyze it enough to care any more than does it sound good.
Yeah.
And the technical people, if they're the sort of people that overanalyze stuff and it needs to be like puristy, I don't give a fuck what they think anyway. So like, who cares?
Yeah, that's a good approach, bro. Yeah, you got a good way of making like things that I think about a lot just seem very simple. You know what I mean? I should ask Brother P more questions.
If you're going to reduce something down to its most fundamental parts, I'm your guy. If you want nuance, I'm not your guy.
Yeah, man, fuck. You know, I did have another question, but the same thing happened.
Right.
I think something's wrong with my brain, bro. Do you think it was all the names that I fucking did?
Maybe, bro.
That will not help.
Yeah.
That's for sure, yeah.
Yeah, what's your view on names?
On names?
Yeah.
Brother.
I can't... speaking from experience, I can't judge anyone, and I definitely can't speak down to anyone who does it, but I wouldn't encourage it, that's for sure. I haven't done it in years, and I've done dumber shit. But don't do names, kids.
Definitely not. And if you do them, don't do a whole carton.
Yeah, nangs are a different beast, bro. Like I always knew they were bad, but it wasn't until it was actually after I'd stopped doing them that I started meeting people that have had I forget what it's called, but you've met people that have the pins and needles and shit. And it like makes your fucking limbs go numb.
It's
crazy.
Well, it's not supposed to be fucking used in that way, and we're not supposed to starve our brains of oxygen like that. And I remember when chroming was around when I was like fucking 12 to 14, which was even dumber, which was like using deodorant instead of and it's fucking stupid. So if you're going to get high, I wouldn't encourage that in any of my music or on any podcast, but nangs aren't the best way to do it.
Probably one of the worst.
Oh, I wouldn't even say that, but I would say that it's a fucking dumb thing and it can be an instant death, whereas like it's not like a slow addiction or like something that's going to kill you over time. It's just going to be like one fuck up and you're fucked. It's not worth it for the 30-second high that you get.
It's not. That's what I was going to say. Like it's diminishing returns. For the amount that it takes and what you get from it, it definitely doesn't add up. Like no drug does, but that one might be the worst odds.
Yeah, I think it's because it's like I'm trying to think about like what the real appeal is, but I think it's because it's cheap, it's easily accessible. You can just buy it from a fucking shop. You can buy heaps of it for a low price.
But it's also very addictive.
Yeah.
Like when I'm sitting here being like, oh fuck nangs, don't do nangs. Like I'm not saying when I was sitting there doing nangs, I was like, this is terrible. Like I'm just saying, fucking don't do them because the aftermath is not good.
Yeah. And there is something about. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say this because it's going to go in the favor of doing nangs, but there is something about like when you're on, like let's just hypothetically say some stimulant of some sort, and you're listening to some crazy fucking music, and you got these fucking crazy lights going on around you, and you like close your eyes and like lay down and do a nang. Like it is pretty fucking crazy. The experience you have.
For sure. And like I'm never going to take anything away from the experience of doing drugs. Like I've done enough drugs to be a hypocrite if I was going to do it. You know. But there's just obviously repercussions that come with doing things, and for anyone that is listening, particularly younger people, because they can't process repercussions of things, just be safe about it and don't do too many.
See, that's another interesting point, isn't it? Is like you can sit here and say, well, don't do names, but how many fucking people told you don't do this, don't do that, and it didn't make
exactly. And we're not your dads. Like, fuck, I'm not gonna like be on the internet harassing people and telling them what to do, but I just don't want to be seen as the type of person that's ever encouraged it, and that's just not it's not my thing. But at the same time, we're not stupid. We know fucking people are going to go out and do it anyway. But it's just, speaking from experience, just don't be fucking dumb with it, and just know your limits.
Dope. Nice. Well, do you guys ever get tempted? Like, there's obviously a lot of drugs and stuff in the entertainment industry as a whole. Like, do you guys ever get tempted?
I went pretty hard from like 14 to like 21. I've fucking had like 7-8 years of like, abusing my body. Fucking sometimes 3-4 days a week. I'm bored of it, to be honest. Fucking I'll smoke a bit of weed here and there, but like honestly, fucking I can't even remember the last time I got on it. It would have been like 18 months ago, 2 years ago. I don't know. A long time ago. I don't know. I don't really miss it.
You're not tempted?
Nah, not really. I mean, fucking I've had some funny times, and like, don't get me wrong, I've got some memories with mates that I don't regret and I wouldn't take back. But that's behind me now, I think. So fucking I'm good.
That's
That's interesting.
Yeah, right.
That's for me. I definitely still do drugs sometimes.
Okay, yeah.
Like I'm not gonna fucking. I'm no saint. Yeah. They're good. Yeah. I enjoy doing them. Yeah. But it's very rarely. Yeah. It's maybe a few times a year.
Yeah.
Simply because I know that any more than that, then I'm wiped out for a good portion of the year. Because you got 2-3 weeks after doing the drugs where you're not at your 100%.
Yeah.
And then you got to keep that rolling over, and you just I find myself I just can't do them all the time, so they don't even tempt me all the time anymore.
Yeah.
It's like rare occasions. Maybe there's a big festival or there's a special.
Well, the last like 3-4 times I didn't even enjoy it. Like I had like Coke or MDMA, both of them were just sort of anxiety inducing. I just was uncomfortable just sitting in a room full of fucking people that wouldn't shut up, and I just didn't want to be a part of it. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I got like the next however long, and I fucking just lost all these hundreds of dollars, and now I'm fucking like why the fuck do I do this, bro?
It's probably a good experience to have.
100%, because I haven't touched it since. But definitely never been a fan of downers. Uppers were always sort of my thing for a while. If anything, if I was to ever touch anything again, it would be hallucinogens. But
true.
But still, like, fuck, it's been so long, and I don't know, there won't be any time soon. That's for sure.
Dope. Nice.
Anyway, fuck. No, we won't. We'll cut that out. We're not doing drugs, alright? Don't do drugs.
No drugs. Drugs are for fucking retards.
And if you do want some, send me a message.
He's got dodgy names if you're interested.
I do have like another question, like about, but do you not want to talk too much about, or are you just happy to talk? Are you an open book with that kind of stuff?
Well, I'm super open book. I think obviously we recently did a podcast where I think we went pretty deep into my whole history of drugs and the whole road. But
I actually did.
I don't know if I would have asked this because I'm just curious. Like one big thing, like I had a heart issue, so I just don't do stimulants. It's like my own rule. Mm-hmm. But even if I didn't have that, I think with Coke at the moment, with all the talk about it being cut with fentanyl, I'm just fucking like, to me, it's just not worth it, bro. Like, do you ever worry about that or think about that?
Unfortunately, not.
I haven't honestly got on it since Fent has been around, so honestly, I've been lucky in that regard. But like, fuck yeah, I'd be scared of it. It's like it takes a speck of the shit to kill you, so fucking like, I don't know, I definitely wouldn't want to accidentally get it in my fucking bag. That's for sure.
Interesting, I never really worry about it too much. I think maybe a bad repercussion of the lifestyle that I did lead previously is it's like my brain kind of thinks it's a bit invincible at this point. It's like, if I push myself to the limits I've pushed to, it doesn't matter how much is in this little bag, you couldn't possibly do any damage, which I guess could really fucking bring me unstuck.
I can see myself with that as well. If I was, say, for whatever reason, decided to go out and get on it, I don't think I would think about it really. I honestly don't think that it would even cross my mind that much. It would just be so, like I've spent 1,000 different times. It would just be like such a rinse and repeat process that I don't think I would even fucking put the thought into it really.
That's what's crazy, right? Let me just fucking reset this. Sorry to put that thought in your head just as you're about to get on at some point in the near future.
Definitely not at the moment.
No, well, I think like that's what I worry about with all my mates, because a lot of my mates they're from Orange and stuff, they still get on it all the time. If anything, their coke use is like more than it's ever been, and I genuinely worry about it because it only takes like, as I'm sure you guys maybe have done yourself well aware, but anyone that's like into coke a bit, like you could be racking half or a whole bag like in one line, you know what I mean? If that fucking bag has any like little bit of fentanyl in it, like that line is gonna kill you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's not worth it.
But Brother Pete looks like he's reconsidering.
Thinking an inappropriate joke in my head. Just a suicide seesaw. That was karma.
Man. Fuck. Oh, well, that's good that you don't really get tempted too much with it. And it sounds like for yourself as well, like it's kind of like you seem like you kind of maintain control of your use. Like it's not like I feel like you seem to have like decent willpower where it's like, I'm going to make this decision based on whether or not I actually want to do it.
I've never been much to succumb to peer pressure or anything like that. I've always been pretty strong-minded in that sense.
That's good.
I also find I don't have a particularly addictive personality, more of an abusive personality, and if I find something I like doing, I'm like, wicked, I'm going to do the shit out of this, and then I'm like, okay, I'm bored of it now, and just fucking move on anyway.
Really? Yeah, wow. Do you think is that a blessing or a curse?
I think it's a blessing, to be honest. It stops me from having to take that one thing and draw it out for my entire life. There's this little drib-drab shit thing. I can just get in, get out, learn the lesson from it and fucking move on.
Dope. Nice, bro. Yeah. Awesome.
What else you got for us?
Yeah. Well, so where do you see you guys taking tap dons? Like, what's your thoughts with it? Are you just going with the flow, seeing how it goes, or have you got big ambitions with it? Or
I think maybe trying anal next.
Anal?
Yeah.
That'd be good. You're gonna fuck each other?
Yeah.
You know, I fucking heard this, and I didn't think this was possible, but I can't even remember where I heard this. But it's going to a place that has nothing to do with tap dons, unless you are actually going to try anal next. Someone on some fucking podcast that I was listening to said that they had a really bad porn addiction. They started watching gay porn just to try something new.
Right.
And they were a straight guy, apparently. And they said they saw one video where two guys were fucking each other in the ass at the same time.
Not possible.
That's what I thought.
Surely.
That's impressive if they were.
Yeah.
At the very least, you'd need an exit hole to go out and back into the other.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, it just doesn't seem possible. And that, like, I kind of thought about that for a minute. Like, I don't think that's possible. I think this guy's bullshitting.
It's these scenarios you need a Jamie over there just to pull that footage up.
Exactly. Jamie.
Pull it up, Jamie.
To pull the footage. Yeah.
Bees, they're evacuating, then they're ejaculating, and they're killing themselves to death. They're coming themselves to death. Pull it up, Jamie.
Literally. I think, the guy that's staying with me at the moment, maybe I should get him to I should ask him if he'll stay.
He's a Jamie, and then he doesn't have to run away every time you do one of these things.
Yeah.
100%.
And he'll realise, I hope Sav's not watching this episode because, I don't know, but he'll realise, people aren't fucking, people are fine. You know what I mean? People are fine. There's no need to be worried, Sam. You can stay here, man. You don't have to leave.
I'll cuddle you up.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's what he's worried about. Yeah.
He doesn't want the peak home.
You'll get me anal first, brother.
Yeah. So aside from anal, what else are you guys thinking?
We have been throwing a few ideas around.
Okay.
Without obviously going too far into it, the idea of a follow-up project as a pretty quick succession afterwards is kind of the idea. Nothing too crazy, just a small fleshed out follow-up project that just, I guess, brings home the concept just to really nail it in so people understand, I guess, what we are, who we are. And then from there, fuck knows.
Yeah.
You got anything to add to that?
I think, I don't know, in general, I think it's cool bringing back a bit of an old school flavour, I guess. A good example of what people have even commented on us in saying is, it reminds them of sort of that funk wars era when comedy was king and when people were really just having fun with it. We're not, flashy, we're not trying to be the cool rappers, we're pretty fucking authentically, what you see is what you get with us and fucking, I think that sort of shows in the music, and a lot of people are kind of scared to be their goofy selves these days where the personal brand is everything. They're trying to make it as sharp and nice as possible. But I think people just miss that rough around the edges rawness of just two blokes just fucking bored coming up with concepts and having fun, and I think that's what we're going to bring back. And I'm excited because I think the old heads can get excited about it, people who came up in fucking bias Bs and sort of the funkcore sort of era, but also, we've got that sort of new flavour that I think we've got the beat styles that Pete kind of comes out with. We can still appeal to the new sort of wave and new generation with our writing and with the style of music that we're putting out. So, I'm excited. I definitely back what we're doing and I fucking hope that you guys do too. But we'll see when the EP comes out, 19th of October. So get ready and fucking go strap yourselves in for a ride, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Strap yourselves on, do some anal, listen to the tap dons.
There's lots of anal talk this weekend.
Come up a few times.
Lots of anal talk. Jesus Christ. Cut that.
That's funny though, good bit.
I give that to you, that was good.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. Yeah, man, fuck. Yeah. No, I think it's dope, bro. I think it's cool what you guys are doing. I think it is cool it's refreshing to see people be themselves because I think obviously we're seeing a lot of people, or we have seen a lot of people maybe try and be a bit tougher than what they actually are, or, I guess a lot tougher than what they actually are in their music, and it just kind of...
heaps of that.
Yeah.
Heaps of it, yeah. And there's I've been more, I guess, aware of that sort of thing, just trying to keep an eye open for those sort of people that are, putting on a very obvious front, and just trying to ask them a few questions and dig a little deeper. From what I can work out, they're actually just fucking really lost. And they got no idea who they are.
I actually feel bad for them a lot of the time. Yeah. I've had conversations with rappers that honestly make me cringe. Like some of the things that they will come out.
Anyone out?
Yeah, 100%. I'm not gonna. I won't say names, and it's not from a place of like, oh fucking, I don't want to be around this person. I genuinely feel bad for them because they're so lost in this wave of fucking anxiety and what people are thinking of them that they put on this weird fucking fake front of what they think a rapper should be in their head, and it's the most awkward, inauthentic fucking experience interacting with these people, and it makes my fucking skin crawl, and I actually it's hard to sit in conversations with some of these people.
There's definitely two sides to it, because the side of me that is just a hardcore rapper, and that's the main thing that I love in life, is like, fuck these people! I love rap! And the other part of me that's a human being is like, especially once I talk to them a little bit, I was like, fuck, actually, I probably can't rag on them too much. Like, I'm in a probably better, more privileged situation than they're in right now. Yeah. Maybe I should just be grateful and try and ask some questions and maybe push them towards a path of questioning those things themselves a little bit.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it, bro? Because when I meet people like that, I've met a few people like that, and it's usually pretty obvious pretty quick as well that they're just not at all being themselves. Yeah, and I just don't have any time for it. Sometimes I think maybe I should be a little more understanding, but I mean, like you said, like it just makes your skin grow. It's just a gross feeling. You just know that nothing is genuine.
I'll give a perfect example. So many fucking rappers in the scene, so you can't take this personally. There's about 10 of yous, and I even like some of yous as people. You have long-term girlfriends, you're engaged, you've been with your missus for 7-10 years, and you're talking about all the sluts and hoes that you have in your music and coming on girls' faces. Do you know how that makes your missus at home feel when you release this and fucking perform this shit on stage? It makes me fucking cringe. Stop doing that shit. Please stop fucking doing that shit.
What he said?
If the shoe fits, wear it and fucking shove it up your ass.
That's amazing, bro.
I hate that shit. It makes me fucking cringe.
That's gonna be the first clip we drop.
Well, it's facts, and if you disagree, you're a fucking cringe cunt.
Maybe I've got more empathy for these people than maybe a lot of other people do, because I was one of those people.
Right.
Like when I was younger and I didn't know who the fuck I didn't know who I was. I was fucking really lost, really mentally ill. I was also very much the same. It was all just all a pretense, like the things I would say would be said for the purpose of trying to say the right thing, opposed to just being just being me. And definitely Then I've had a lot of interactions that I'm sure a lot of these people have had where they're standing there and someone's questioning them and they're really uncomfortable and under the pressure and they're like, I don't know who the fuck I am. And then you just start spouting out a bunch of bullshit. But if you just question people on what they're doing, when they go home and they're laying in their bed, they're going to question themselves on what they're doing.
I love
plant the seed.
That's one of the reasons I really like Pete. He does do that. He just digs for the sake of digging, just to see if the person even knows themselves. And fucking it's funny to watch some people get stumped. And I heard him actually doing it with a rapper the other day, and he was talking about the message that he wants portrayed in his music and the legacy that he wants to leave behind. And Pete just said, "Oh, so what is that message and what is that legacy?" And he stumbled on his words really so fucking. And it's like, well. Yeah.
So he's just repeating what he's heard other people say.
I guess so, in a certain sense, which is fine, and there might be some truth to what he said, but he hasn't obviously put enough thought into that, where if someone hits him with the question, he can go bang, 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 this is what I want to do.
Right,
And so they are, in a sense, just saying the recycled stuff that they know is what they should say. They've got to think a bit deeper, and Pete makes people do that, which is
good.
It's good for people to be the best versions of themselves, man. And I don't know, the only way I grew was through being really fucking uncomfortable. Because people would keep me honest. And as much as that fucking sucks, and I get that there's probably a lot of people that don't like me because I do that, I guarantee I've made a lot of people better than what they were before because I'm just straight up with them.
It's interesting, bro, because, I've, as everyone has, met a lot of people in my life, and I've had a lot of friends, they come and go. And there's one friend, and I only met him when I moved to Sydney, which is only a few years ago, that's been, I'm sorry if any of my Orange mates are watching this, but a better mate to me than any other person in my life. And it's because he makes me uncomfortable. It's because if he thinks that something I'm saying is a bit of bullshit or it doesn't add up, he'll just
say that.
Push a little deeper, or he'll just say it, come on, mate. Stop being a fuckwit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's actually like, you know, people I think are afraid to like cause that conflict in someone else.
100%,
like
100%.
that confrontation.
Yeah.
But it's actually the most valuable thing you can do for them.
Yeah, we need it.
Yeah.
We need it.
Yeah, that's exactly why I said to the previous comment a bit earlier on that you know, ask your friends for advice.
Right.
The comment section still says you shit, get new friends.
Yeah.
Because you need friends. They're going to be like, brother, that's fucking terrible. Like, do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, bro. Because there's people, 100%, man. There's people that like fucking think they're the best shit. I made a video on it a while ago and it called it Ruffled Some Feathers, right? And I just literally said, stop telling these fucking shitty rappers that they're not shitty rappers. And if you watch the whole video, you would realize that what I'm saying is don't tell them they're shitty rappers. You don't have to be hateful. You don't have to be, I mean, if that's your method, go for it.
But just don't gas them up when
don't gas them up. And maybe just if they just say, oh, what do you think? You could be like, yeah, it was alright. But if they dig deeper, don't just keep telling them it was alright. If they dig deeper, they clearly want fucking feedback. Tell them like what you actually think. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, they're crying for it for sure. They clearly prep themselves for that feedback.
Exactly.
Yeah, we definitely need a healthy discourse of back and forth where we can give criticism constructively and safely without, you know, fucking berating someone's art and like killing their confidence, but at the same time you obviously want to make sure that they are able to improve with what you're saying and they're actually taking that feedback and learning something from it. So it's finding that middle ground. Breaking and building is a good one. So give them a compliment, give them the feedback that they actually need to learn, and then just another little compliment. Your flow was fucking really dope. Punchline structure and all of this actual structure of timing was a bit off here, but yeah, I think you held the whole thing together, and as a fucking concept it was sick.
I would say the one scenario where I would just gas someone up is if they come up to me and they were fucking super timid, clearly very new, and they were like clearly super shy about showing me their art. Bro, if that person comes up to me, they're getting nothing but like, brother, that's fucking sick, this is dope. I will also be like, man, there's like this cool idea, go look into that idea, but I'm doing nothing but giving that person compliments, because they're not like sure enough in themselves yet,
and they're just going to give it up completely.
Exactly. And those, like, you got to nurture those little people, because they're trying, man, and they're trying to get out of their shell, and I fucking props that shit. But if there's someone that's past that boundary, for sure.
Once they're past that awkward sort of like not sure of themselves, fucking what do you think of this boundary, once they're past that, then the constructive feedback's good. But if you fucking just in the entry point of the game, more they really need to hear what they're doing well, and just confidence boosting, I think, to keep getting it out in front of people.
And I think as well, like, it depends like what their goals with it actually are. Like, if someone's just doing it because they enjoy it, I mean, it doesn't really fucking matter.
Not everyone wants to be a rapper. Yeah, Fatty Few was saying the other day, shout out to Fatty Few, we caught up with him the other night with Grilly, and he was saying that, some people rap to be a rapper, and some people rap because they just want to rap. I find myself being someone who just wants to rap. I just like rapping. But there's definitely some people who want to be seen as a rapper, and there's a massive difference between the two types of people.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And I imagine if you look at like the hours that are spent on like rapping
versus posting their cool fucking photos on Instagram and fucking being a sick cunt. It will show in the craft. It will show in the writing in itself.
Dope.
That was something else. It was a cool quote. Big ups Fatty Few.
The whole shit was actually dope as fuck. That was sick. Legend.
Fucking
first time meeting him. It was cool.
Fucking legend of the Geelong scene, and it was sick.
Sick, man. I was gonna ask you guys as well. It's kind of like I was gonna ask you a while ago. It's based off like what we're talking about just before. Do you think like some level of like bullying in a person's life, like even if it's like during their like growing up stages, is it like necessary to the development? Because
necessary is a stretch. Necessary. I understand.
I think it's arguable.
I understand, the point that you're trying to make, and I think
I don't necessarily think it is, but
there's benefits. Like, you're gonna get a thicker skin if you learn to cope with it, and like if you can actually just take that on without, obviously taking it to heart and fucking letting it affect your day-to-day life. There's a good in that, but I don't think it's a necessity to go through bullying. I think there's other ways that you can you can thicken the skin up, and fucking you can do that. I've worked in door-to-door sales, so has Pete, and I think that's a great one, because you're going around and getting rejected fucking a couple hundred times a day, and as long as you can stay positive and get, 3 or 4 yeses at the end of the day, that's all that matters. But you just have to be able to get through the 96 no's. And, doing things like that, I guess, will build your confidence in a way that feels like fucking berating. It will kill your confidence at the same time that you're building it. But you don't have to actually be bullied.
And I think that idea can get in a lot of people's heads that there's a certain amount of trauma that has to be in place for the arts to be created. Don't chase trauma to create art. That's the dumbest thing you could possibly do. If you're doing well, make your art about doing well. Because there's so many other cunts in the world that are also doing well.
And they can relate.
They want music about doing well.
It's fucking great that you said that, because I recently came across this comedian that's just in a whole different fucking world to probably what any of us are. And I'd never seen anything like it before. And I was like, wow, it's so cool to see someone doing it, because there's a gap for it. And his name is literally like millionaire comedian or like rich boy comedians or whatever. Sure. And it's just literally just targeted at fucking people that grew up in the fucking top 1% of society.
True.
And they're flying on, it's jokes about flying on private jets, like, oh, daddy, like, we got this private jet, my friends are all, and it's like, well, and like, people are loving it in the comments. It's like, wow, it's like, if you come from like a privileged position, don't like ruin your life just so you can like talk about the struggle. Talk about the privileged position.
They're also like accessing the luxury market, but through content as well, which is the luxury market's massive money. If you've got all those people coming into like, you could get some pretty ridiculous merch drops.
100%. 100%.
Fuck, that's so true, bro.
Yeah, hip-hop is definitely like a lower economic, I guess, class music as a whole. But if you're appealing to the fucking Turaks and the Beverly Hills of the world in your music, fucking oath, you'll fucking capitalize the fuck out of that. Definitely. I'll be dropping designer merch.
Every vinyl comes with a Lambo, baby, let's go.
Tap Don's Gucci collab, boy. Fake Gucci.
So I mean, what would you say to? We kind of talked about it a little bit before, but what would you say to people that are on the fence about coming, or they missed any events or whatever? Like, what would you say to people to get them to come to the event?
I think it's a perfect blend for people who like kind of like the radio sort of style of rap, and I guess even say if you look back at the Melbourne versus Sydney Cursiverse 360 era, I feel like we sit perfectly in a nice bubble in between. It's kind of like that comedy like style is funny, you can laugh about it with your mates, and the concepts are pretty PG rated for the most part. There are a couple that get a bit more silly, but at the same time it is just that sort of, you can have a beer and have a laugh with the boys listening to it. But it's also raw and dumb and underground enough that it, for the most part, wouldn't get on radio. And it'll still hit that underground pocket. And for the street heads that just love a fucking dirty boom bap track, it's gonna hit and resonate with them too. With working with Breaking Bread, Urban World, these crews gets rid of the toxicity.
It really does. And that's the only point I really wanted to hammer home on a double is like, look, we get it. We've been to some of those laundry gigs. We've been to some of those gigs where you rock up and you're just on edge the whole time. It's uncomfortable. We get it. Just give it a go. Come out. I promise you'll fall in love with hip hop again at live venues. It's actually dope as fuck.
It's been done fucking properly for the last 12 months with these guys, and I'm very, very excited and proud to say that we're working with them. And all I gotta say is just give it a chance. If you come out and dislike it, we can't really say much more than that, but just don't fucking knock it till you try it. Come see what we got.
I think that's the biggest thing. Don't knock it till you try it. And I think that's a lot of like what's happened, at least from the people that I've spoken to that aren't into hip hop in Australia. They've come up to with their conclusion without ever going to a gig.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean?
And a lot of people do.
And then also maybe they do go to a gig and it's the experience that you're talking about as well. And they go to one gig and they go, oh yeah, everything I've heard is true.
I'm
not going
for sure.
100%. I can definitely say that.
And like, fair enough. You could another contrast with a similar thing is like clubbing, you know? Like there's 1,000,001 clubs that I'll never go to in my life because I hate the entire premise of it. And like for ages I was like, clubbing, worst thing in the world. Now I've found some clubs and I'm like, oh no, there's people I like here. This is a like-minded place. I'm like, clubbing's not the problem. It's just being around people you don't like.
Environment is everything.
Dope, man. Is there anything else? Any shout outs upcoming? Obviously we got the show come up, the EP coming up. Anything at all you just want to leave?
We've got to drop coming out. I don't know when this is dropping. Might be out, might be coming out soon. We've got a track coming out with Greeley.
Yeah. Got Ticker, it's going to be called. And I think it will be the 5th of October. I think it's coming out about 2 weeks before the gig. If not the 5th, it should be around about then. And it's a fucking banger. So get ready for that one. It's another... Different. We had a fucking laugh with that one. It's fucking stupid as well. But it's actually... a banger, and it's going to go off live. So fucking
it's really cool.
Keep an ear out for that.
Yeah, it was the first time I've made a dance beat that I was like, I'd rap on that. So it was cool to actually get that out there, and then get the other lads on it as well. It's really cool.
It's fucking filthy. But we're going to be ripping up the sets with Lockie Hamill, Hyena Mufasa, Max Bladel, ourselves of course. We got Drifter emceeing the night. We got OG Kai on the decks, Breaking Bread, TNS, Fried and Tasty, massive fucking shout outs, and big love to Discover Hip Hop with this fucking podcast.
Yeah, an Urban World. And don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, unless it's nags.
Or you're doing them well.
Yeah, please. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks for having us.
That was awesome.